Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Serge, and welcome to another show of Search for the Truth. And my goal is to educate people, empower people to give them knowledge when it comes to health and what we can do to help healing the body. And today I'm excited to have Norbert again with me. Good morning, friend.
Good morning, Serge. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you. So let's start with this topic. I think it's going to be exciting today. Today, you're going to be covering 7 areas of how 5G is being used today in our society and how it can impact us.
Yes.
First of all, tell us a bit about you and why you're so passionate about EMFs, radiations, 5G, and so on.
Well, first of all, I'm in alternative medicine for 40 years as a passion. I started 40 years ago with kinesiology, muscle
Yes.
testing in Germany. I'm German while I still lived in Germany. I moved to America more than 20 years ago. But still, my headquarters is in Germany all the time. Um, 13 years ago, I ran into a problem where I was seriously hurt by cell phones. The story is too long. Some other day, I'll be happy to give it to you. And because I ran into this problem, and my grandson, just 6 months old at this time, ran into serious health problems, and I could relate them to the usage of cell phones.
Yeah.
And when I looked around whether there's any protection, because I knew electromagnetic radiation cannot be very positive, like arsenic or whatever, there's something
Yeah.
wrong. But nobody wants to give up the cell phone. So I looked around, and all the products I found, which supposedly would protect you from the harmfulness of electromagnetic radiation using cell phones, did not work. They just didn't work.
Yeah.
People advertised them full of lies, full of misleading people, but they didn't work. Okay, good. So I said something needs to be done, and I started to develop ideas, and I finally came up with a concept, and it took me like 2, 3 years to get it done. And once I had it done, I never intended to make a company out of this, a profession. I was just trying to protect myself and my family.
Yeah.
But then once it was done, it was apparently that it's needed. So overnight, so to speak, I ended up to have a company and producing these products, all made in Germany, and I have them scientifically tested. So scientifically tested, nobody needs to believe me, and I have proof, scientific proof, and certificates for all my products. So this is how I ended up there, and I realized that there are 2, 3 major issues on this planet which are completely ignored and not taught on universities to doctors. Medical doctors are not educated in electromagnetic radiation, which we use for cell phones, Wi-Fi, GPS, smart meters, and what have you. They're not educated in this.
Yeah.
Basically, when I say no doctor, I mean 98% have no idea about this, right?
Yeah.
And I realized that doctors are not educated in water, because I realized that without healthy water, you can never be really healthy.
Yeah.
So I looked into healthy water, and developed a technology how to turn regular water into healthy water, which if you're interested in and your listeners, we can do some other time.
Yeah. That would be nice.
So these are my main 2, 3 subjects. When I give seminars worldwide, I can cover up to 50 different topics. For example, the 14 reasons why people cannot sleep. I put 14 causes together, or why tattoos are a very bad idea for your body.
Yeah.
So I have very different subjects which I came across over the last 30, 40 years, and I'll speak about, not teach, I would say, like, I speak about up to 50 of those in the seminars. This is a bit of a rough, quick crash course of who I am.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's get started about the 7 areas where the 5G. It's really interesting, actually. So get started on the first one.
Now, first of all, 5G is just the expression of the fifth generation of electromagnetic radiation of Wi-Fi. There was the 4G, 3G, 2G, and so on. With every G moving up, it became more dangerous and more harmful,
Yeah.
more comfortable, more sexy, more rock and roll, more fluffy, but you pay a price for all that.
Yeah.
So we have nowadays 4G in place, and 5G is about to roll out. In some places it is. It will come more and more and more. The problem is that people, of course, are motivated. Oh yeah, with 5G, I can download a movie instead of 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? But they don't see the side effects. I didn't see the side effects when I first used microwave oven. I liked
Yeah,
it. Everyone liked it. What a fancy idea, right?
yeah,
The price we had to pay, it took me years to find out how bad microwave oven is, and I hope that all your listeners are educated not to use microwave ovens anymore. Some other theme, some other time, some other show.
yeah,
So 5G is very practical, yes, but it comes with the highest price ever. Our world will never be the same again after we're using now 4G and 5G. We're at the end of the line. We're the back to the walls. So people think 5G is practical, but 5G has been around for a long time and it's not new. It has been used first since the 60s by the armies as a weapon. That's not new. If people read the book from your countryman, Captain Flynn, which I show on my website under books, if you go to my website, improveyourlife.us, improveyourlife.us, and there are books, and there's these 5G books from Captain Flynn from the Canadian Army, who's a retired man, who is a whistleblower, and who tells you all about it. So 5G is a weapon which has been used by the Army for many, many years before they sold it to the industry to make money with it. So what do they use 5G for? I'll give you 7 examples, as you mentioned. The first example is communication. We all know by now that all our communication, cell phones, emails, etc., are monitored and copied and stored if needed and wanted.
yeah,
Looking for keywords in your communication, you are from the other dangerous side, so they'll watch your communication. It's all being filtered. It's all being monitored. In order to do that, they need 5G because only 5G has the capacity in time and speed and volume to gather all this information, to store them. It's like having a small hard drive with 100 megabyte, and then you have a hard drive with 5 million gigabyte. So they need 5G, to give an example, to collect these information. So our communication is completely transparent. Don't believe, no matter people tell me, oh, you could sign up for this email company, their communication is safe. From my opinion, this is all nonsense. There is
yeah,
no communication safe in this world. The other side can get to it whenever and however they want. Full stop. They need 5G for that. The second area is our area of how we purchase products, how we commercially are active. So, for example, our consumer attitudes are watched. You may have experienced, you go somewhere and type in the search engine winter vacation in Canada to find out what's going on. And then all of a sudden you get emails, hotel in winter locations in Canada,
yeah,
or insurance if you break your leg on skiing in Canada, right?
yeah,
So all our communication is watched, is analyzed, and our consumer attitudes. They have a complete profile. You buy something today on Amazon, they have your profile. They have a history of what you have bought and where you bought and how much you bought and how you paid for it. And they keep offering you products in this area. So everyone has more or less experienced this. So our consumer attitudes, our consumer profile is completely watched and analyzed and stored. And again, the amount of information is so big that they need 5G to do that.
yeah,
Makes sense, right?
yeah,
Okay, good. Um, Money. They're going to take cash money away from us.
yeah,
There's no question to that. Cash money will go. And cash money will be replaced by digital money. Um, and again, the digital money can be completely controlled. Your bank account, how much money you have. At the moment, a lot of people have money and the government doesn't know about it.
yeah,
Every person who makes black money under the table, whether it's criminal or prostitutes or whatever, in whatever fashion, Every money you make under the table is not known. That will go away in the future. You cannot make money under the table. If you're a bit familiar with Europe, Italian is our pristine country. Where years ago when I wanted to do business in Italy, they told me, look, we buy your products, but only if you give us 50% without an invoice, and we pay you cash, and the other 50% we pay you officially. Like Italy is such a country where without money under the table to buy products, nothing goes, which went that far that the Italian government said a new law: when you left a store, like even a coffee shop, and you didn't have the receipt of the coffee you drank with you, you're going to get in trouble and to court. Okay. So
Wow.
they try to stop that, but they can't. But now they have a very easy way, because everything you spend your money for will be established in a known safe.
Yeah.
So all your consumer attitudes, your profile is known, full stop. That's again a need 5G to control all that volume. Now we have the number 4 then is credit cards. We already are known to the fact that credit cards are registered, are controlled, which goes that far. The other day I was in Europe. I was like the last 3 months, I was 4 times in Europe, and my credit card company goes crazy when I travel from Czech Republic to Germany to Spain to Italy to Austria, and spend money here and there, and I buy hotels. So on. They go crazy, and suddenly the red flag, and my credit card is stopped because they believe somebody took the card and quickly spends money on it. Right?
Yeah.
They think it's fraudulent. That means you are under observation when you have a credit card and how and when to use it. You would say it's not the bank's business. They, of course, say, well, we want to make sure nobody stole the card, which is legitimate. I understand that. But in the future, there's another side to it. Everybody who is in charge can control your credit card. And if you are a non-conformist, somebody pushes a button on the computer and your credit card is blocked.
Yeah.
Even if you have money on the account, okay?
It's scary, isn't it?
Oh,
It's creepy.
it's all about total control. The bottom line is about total control. And we give out our freedom and our individual decisions we make for our lives, you know?
Yeah.
So the credit card, it's not a big issue. I mean, it's not a big issue. It's already there. It's already there. But it will be stronger implemented and stronger controlled. So we have number 6 then. No, sorry, number 5, which is electric cars. Okay. People who buy electric cars think they do the right thing for this planet, more green. Nothing could be further from the truth. To my personal opinion, everything I'm saying here today is my personal opinion. I'm not a doctor. I cannot give you medical advice. I'm a life coach. So this is all my personal opinion. The electric car is a scam. The first thing is they needed new impulses, motivations in the industries in many countries to make more business, as business was getting tougher and more complicated. So they need something new. So to say, well, the car you have is obsolete, you got to change to an electric car, okay? So that was one move. The second thing is that the electric car is not about saving energy. The production, the cost of an electric car compared to a regular car is outrageous.
Yeah.
There's so much energy being wasted by producing this car. Of course, people like Elon Musk, one of the biggest psychopaths on this planet, to my opinion, he did great designs. I mean, there's no question. Great functions, great designs. I was sitting in 1 or 2 cars looking at them with a friend who has one, and it's thrilling. It's very, very, very well done. But the big problem with electric cars is there are 2 big problems. The first big problem is the production of the batteries. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, nobody talks about where do these poisoning batteries end up in 5, 10, 20 years from now.
Exactly.
Billions of batteries. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, to produce these batteries, you need a product called cobalt. Cobalt 80%, you need that cobalt, otherwise it cannot manufacture the car battery. 80% of the cobalt in this world is produced in Congo, in Africa, in the Congo, under very, very dirty circumstances, very poisoning, very threatening to the people, to the poor people who work in the mines and get this cobalt.
Yeah.
So it is outrageous, unhealthy. But they sell the electric cars as the salvation for the problems on this planet, being green and all that stuff, right?
I know, right? Yeah.
At the same time, they pay a price to the poor people to produce the cobalt. Now, funny enough, the 80% cobalt production in Congo is in one hand for marketing, for sales. You have a guess who that might be?
No, I did not.
A Chinese company. So all the 80% cobalt from Congo goes
Yeah.
into China, and then Chinese people sell it throughout the world to the battery manufacturers.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's 80% of cobalt. Okay, now there are other ingredients for car batteries, and one is called lithium. Lithium.
Yeah.
Lithium is needed for car batteries, and there are, besides Australia, 2-3 places where lithium is produced currently. Is from it's from the earth. I mean, they bring it up, right? It's not a production as an artificial product. And this is like in Peru, Argentina, and some South American countries who produce the majority of lithium. Now, to produce lithium for one car battery, you waste about 20,000 gallons of water.
Wow.
20,000 gallons of water. And in this area where they mine this lithium from the ground, the water level, the groundwater level, sinks further and further and further. And the land above dries out, and the farmers there cannot run their farms anymore because they can't get water. It's getting deeper and deeper and deeper. So
Wow.
that's the lithium which you need for electric car batteries. So you need these two ingredients and some more, but these are the two main ingredients, cobalt and lithium. And these will be sitting in car batteries around the world on the trash in the future. In Europe, we have a situation that, to my belief, no, you cannot bring an electric car to the dumpster. They will not take it because of these high poisoning materials.
Yeah.
So this is a big, big factor, and there's a political things behind this. I don't know when I want to go there, but I'm just asking you, theoretically, why did America go to war with Afghanistan? Why did they go to war with Afghanistan? What was there to win?
Natural resources.
Well, there were two things. Afghanistan is the biggest producer of heroin in the world.
Yeah.
They have a monopoly. But did you ever hear a news where it says, oh, we burned down today 10,000 acres of heroin crops?
Never.
No, it was never touched.
Yeah.
And the Taliban said, you stay away from our crops. Okay, you will not touch our puppies. We need that money. So the American government army never stopped the heroin production in Afghanistan. During the war, 10, 20 years now, it went on and on and on. Now,
Yeah.
there's a second side to it. According to New York Times, most likely, Afghanistan has the biggest resource in the world for lithium.
I see.
Okay. And lithium is needed not only for car batteries, but for cell phones as well.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a political side. Now, finally, the 5G side. What does have 5G to do now with electric cars? As I said, this is number 5. Did I string the numbers wrong? Number 5 electric cars. So electric cars can be controlled and will be controlled by 5G. So you take your car and you drive from Boston to New York. If I, on the control side, don't want you to go there, I override the electronics in your car by means of 5G, and your car will stop.
Yeah.
And you have no chance to move it. If you exit the car to take coffee, I can lock your car with 5G that you're not even able to open up your car anymore. So if you're a nonconformist, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. If you're a nice guy, you don't interfere with the government, you don't reject, you don't refuse, you don't oppose the government, the person in charge will, with a push of a button, 5G say, stop Serge's electric car. And that was it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's about the electric car. They need 5G to do that, right? That was number 5. Number 6. We all know by now that the new version of driver licenses and passports are digitally controlled.
Yeah.
There are chips built in, and these chips allow them to stop, cancel, waive the validity of your license at any time. It says 10-year valid, right?
Yeah.
But with a push of a button, it is not valid anymore. Again, if you're an enemy, we decide whether you can leave the country or not, whether you can travel somewhere or not. We just invalidate your passport, your ID, and that's it. Again, to do this, they need 5G.
Yeah.
Because it's so much volume of data, you need 5G, and we all know, or we know, some people know, they're working already on 6G. 5G is already the catastrophe in this world, and they have not fully tuned it up yet. Okay? They can further tune it up. But 5G is the end of the world as we know it. It will destroy human beings, plants, animals, everything on this planet can be destroyed in the wrong hands. And believe me, it is in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
So you remember when Snowden,
Yes, I do.
when he left America?
Yeah.
The guy was so smart, and he made it, I believe, I never met him personally, but I will talk to him if I ever meet him. He made an obvious, very small, detailed, wrong decision. The guy is so highly intelligent, but it seems to me, I say it seems to me, he made a very terrible mistake. You know that Snowden ended up in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was an accident. That was not planned.
Oh.
When he published his findings, he should get a Nobel Prize for this and not being threatened.
Yeah, I know, right?
The guy is a hero. He told the American people what their own government does do to you. Does check you, does, spy on you against the law. And instead of giving him a Medal of Honor, I mean, what did they do to this guy? One of the most honest, straightforward guys, not compromising his ethics, right? Anymore.
Yeah.
So when he published his documentation, he knew they would go right away after him. And he boarded a plane, and he wanted to go to South America. And he had to stop over in the airport in Moscow. And when he got off the plane and wanted to go on the next plane by checking in, they must have said something. I wasn't there, but I imagined the situation. They must have said to him, Mr. Snowden, sorry, your passport is invalid. So while he was on the plane, the American government, of course, wanted to get a grip on him, and they canceled his passport.
Wow.
So how can you cancel the passport? Well, only digitally.
Yeah, exactly.
With 4G, 5G, right? So he couldn't enter the next plane. He had no valid passport. You cannot go on the plane.
Wow.
He couldn't leave the airport either to go into Russia because he had no valid passport.
Yeah.
So he was stuck for several days, as we know by the news, in the airport in Russia, in Moscow, and he could not do anything. He could not leave. He could not fly on. He was stuck. And then as we know, the Russian government, Putin, this very bad guy, they all promote him as a very bad guy, all nonsense. Putin gave him asylum. And since that time, he is in Russia because his passport was canceled.
Interesting. I didn't know that story.
So in the future, if you're a nonconformist, one can cancel your passport. You are limited to travel, your driver's license, everything, all these documents, passport, driver's license, IDs can be digitally canceled. They're digitally controlled. Okay. Does it make sense?
It does. Scary, but does make sense.
Good. So that was number 6, the ID. Now it comes to number 7, the topic of today. In the moment, as you know, let's call it, there is a big experiment on this planet going on.
Yeah, the last couple of years.
What did you say?
The last couple of years.
Yes, the last 2 years is particularly,
Yeah.
which I believe was prepared many years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago. That didn't come overnight.
Yeah.
And did you talk in your shows about chemtrails?
No, but I did talk about them actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody who knows about chemtrails, for me, the chemtrails was a preparation of this experiment, which is going on for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in the chemtrails are nanoparticles. And by inhaling them in your body, it gives access to certain technology. We'll talk about this in a minute. So this experiment, which is going on for the last 2 years, if you want to be treated in their way treated, and you get a certain treatment, you can fill in the blanks what that is.
Yeah.
This treatment has a barcode serial number. They have your name, your address, your birthday, your everything. Now, in this treatment is according to a witness who left a certain company manufacturing these treatments, which you can find on my website under health and under treatment, special treatment name. You can find an interview with this lady who left the company, one of the companies who manufacturing the treatments. And she says on camera, it's a bioweapon.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So in the treatments are certain ingredients, of which one is called graphene oxide,
Yeah.
among others.
Yeah.
And once these treatments are in your body, it's the biggest experiment in history. It's the biggest experiment in history. Okay. Everybody finger points at Hitler and says, who is the standard evil for bad, the person for bad, right? Look what he has done. Well, what he has done is a joke, excuse me, compared to what is being done now, to my opinion. Okay. In ratio.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this stuff now in your body can be accessed. And here comes in again 5G. With 5G frequencies, I can access these particular parts in your body. They act like a conductor. Okay. They act like a conductor. On my website, under improveyourlife.us, under health, under this particular experiment we're talking about, there is a video from who used to be the biggest specialist in the world of these graphene oxide. And this gentleman, in a very wild, aggressive manner, talks about it, accusing the Austrian government at this time when he did that of running this experiment now with the people, forcing them into the treatment. Okay.
Yeah.
And a few days after he did this video, he was killed. And on my website are 2-3 interviews with the key people. If you just watch these 3-4 videos, and I have done a webinar with Dr. Alf Garbert, is as well there to be found. I would say if you watch these 4 videos only, you know everything. You know everything. I'll do every month one free charge webinar. People can dial in. And every month I have a different theme.
Yeah.
And one month I had, it was in December, January, I had this theme with Dr. Alf Garbert, where we talked about these special experiments and the consequences, both for these people who are treated but as well for the problem for the people who are not treated. Because the people who are treated can shed
Yes.
certain things to the people who are not treated. And we talked
Exactly.
about this in the show. So bottom line is, I gave you now the 7 points, and this special treatment is the 7th point of where in our life 5G is needed by the other side to control your life and your health and your future.
Yeah.
And they need 5G to do that. A lot of people have a problem to understand. They don't need to contact direct your body, and they don't need to know where you are.
No. Yeah.
Okay, it works in quantum physics. My technology is based on quantum physics, but I do the opposite side. I use my technology to help people to balance the body. I'm not a doctor. I cannot make medical claims. I'm just a life coach. I'm using 5G technology. Now, all my technology has been certified by the BISA Institute in Austria, because I didn't want people just to believe me, because the technology I'm doing is so far out there that people have, of course, a problem to understand it, which is,
Yeah.
I understand, that's normal. But the same people never questioned those cell phone companies that their products are harmless.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've given you. No, let me. Do we have still time left? Yeah, a bit left.
Let's finish with the PDF you sent me yesterday with the study you did from PISA, right?
Okay. Now to the conclusion so far, I gave you 7 areas in life where the other side needs 5G to control your life and these different topics. I trust everybody, this crash course very fast has understood it. I give several talk shows about this and more material on my website. So what has happened is I went in January, no, in December, I went to Europe, and we met with people in a country where we were not allowed to meet, to put people together in this experiment situation where we were not allowed to meet
Yeah.
unless you have a certain treatment. And none of the people had any certain treatment. Everybody refused that treatment. So we met in this room, which was given to me by a very nice customer, meanwhile associate, a meeting room, and nobody was supposed to know we were meeting there. And the BISA Institute in Austria, who has scientifically tested all my 30 products and certified them all, which you can see on my website under the button of BISA, BESA. You can read these certificates. I have more than 1,500 pages. So the BISA Institute was willing to join that meeting secretly while they usually work in their lab. I asked them, can you do the testing in front of an audience live on stage and project what you do there against the wall so all the audience can watch what are you doing? So we found a gentleman who was treated and who believed in it. His wife, who's a doctor, medical doctor, was treated. She believed in it. The daughter is a medical student who was treated and believed in it. So the gentleman came to our meeting as a guinea pig, and the BISA Institute tested this gentleman and projected what they were doing, the procedure and the results onto the screen. So people didn't have to believe anything, they saw it live. And the person who was tested, his jaws dropped. He had no idea, and he didn't know that this was done to him. He didn't know that these ingredients were in the treatment, and he was very upset that he has never been told this, and the public is not told this.
Mhm.
So the people from BISA, and we see the chart in a second here, the people from BISA clearly proved that the guy had graphene oxide and spike proteins and other goodies in his body, and that these products were affecting his health, his organ functions clearly. Now, when you see the first chart in a second, you see certain products and they're all in blue. So there's the, let me see. Can you put this in a, in a full screen where they see the test functions below that graphic. That's the graphic on top. If you can go further low, further low, further low, further low, further low, further low, 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 go low, low. Okay. Now you see the lung, right?
Yeah.
Skin, large intestines, connective tissues, and more. We'll see more. And they're all in blue to the left
Yes.
side. The blue means this degenerative. In other words, the person is sick. Okay. These organs, these functions are all sick. They're not healthy. If you go further down, you see stomach, nerves, pancreas, organ. All this is being checked. Okay. And if you go to the second page, bladder, lymph, kidney, allergy, gallbladder, liver, heart, small intestines, blood circulations, endocrine system. So they tested all these functions in the body, live in front of the audience. And all these functions are harmed by the ingredients of the treatment, which nobody tells you.
Wow.
Now, these ingredients, they have patents. In the patents, they say what they want to patent, but they can add at any time anything to the ingredients, whatever they like, and they don't need to declare it.
Yeah.
So then this gentleman from the BISA Institute, they brought this product here, which I have around my neck. It's a small disc here, right? I have around my neck. They're called SD1 Human Protect. It's called SD1 Human Protect. So they brought it to the person next to his body. And after 2 minutes, they tested the person again. Now, if we scroll down, everything which was blue before is green now.
Yes.
It's exactly in this area where it's supposed to be, just over the green edge. That's the ideal scene. So everything which was blue before now is green, which means healthy. So the BISA Institute then wrote a report, which is like 30, 40 pages. And that report is on my website. Again, improveyourlife.us under SD1. You can read the full report in English, 30, 40 pages where they explain what they did and what they found and blah, blah, blah. And they say, I don't make a medical claim. BISA says that my products nullifies the harmful effect of the ingredients, of the harmful ingredients.
That's impressive. Wow.
And then it gets flushed out over like 2 weeks or so, right?
I see.
Okay. Now, if somebody has these ingredients after a treatment in his body and is in contact with somebody who has no treatment, the person can shed these products onto a person who had no treatment.
Yeah.
And in this one talk show we did, the doctor asked the question, what happens if a wife has the treatment and the man doesn't have a treatment, husband, which sometimes very often happens. And he clearly says, primarily through liquids, if they have sex, primarily through liquids, through sweat, through breath, through contact, skin contact, you can pass over these harmful ingredients to somebody else.
That's scary.
All right. So this is my story about 5G and how 5G is being used in the vaccinations. Now I'll give you my provoking viewpoint on this.
Yeah. The good news is you have a solution.
Yes. The provoking viewpoint is the other side, which I always call the other side. And somebody from the other side officially says in statements on video on YouTube, we got to reduce the world population. Old people are not needed. They don't produce. They cost us money, medical bills. What's the use of that? If you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And now you have to imagine this. With the 5G technology, and all the data they collected of the people who have been treated, they can decide with a push of a button which person, which group of person, which group of age, which nationality, which color skin, these people will die in the next 6 months of cancer or of a heart attack. They can program this.
Yeah.
For some of you, it maybe sounds for science fiction. It is not. It's reality. They can program, give me every person above the age 75. Give me every black person in New York. Give me every person who has medical issues anyway in Paris. And with a push of a button, they can program how this person will end up in a serious health or death situation. This is reality. It may be not the reality of the listeners, but I'm into quantum physics and my products are based on quantum physics. I know what can be done. I'll do it on the positive side. They can do it on the negative side. So they need 5G to follow this up. Now, what has happened? Why there are so many treatments? Why there are so many treatments? First, it was said only one treatment and the problem is solved, right?
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
we know now it is not solved, and people who had the treatment still get infected, and people who had 2-3 treatments still get infected, and so on and so on and so on, right? What has happened, and the woman in this interview says that they're experimenting and adding and pushing more intensity. They dial up their technology and their treatment to see how far can we go, how far can we do it, because one thing cannot happen, which has happened, that somebody after the treatment immediately dies.
Yeah.
There are plenty of cases who immediately die, or
There's
with a
hundreds of cases. Yeah.
and with a latency of a day or week or so or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in many cases, these numbers are not published. The true numbers are not published.
Yeah.
So, like before, we had this experiment in America. We had 2019, 50 million cases of influenza, 50 million registered cases of influenza in 2019. Not everyone died, of course, but influenza was going on for how many decades? And
Yeah.
people had it every year. Right? So keep this number in mind, 2019, 50 million cases registered. Okay. According to Jeff Renz. And in 2020, in the first year, there were 2,300 cases registered.
That doesn't make sense, is it?
It makes sense because everybody who had before was diagnosed with influenza,
Yeah.
now diagnosed with this new deadly disease, right?
Exactly.
This is how you manipulate the numbers. So it's hard perhaps for you to understand out there, but the fact is, with 5G, they control what is happening here. And it was not about the illness. It was about, the experiment was about putting people so much into fear that they accept this treatment, even run for it voluntarily, accept it.
Yeah.
Normally, people would have not accepted it if you would have not threatened them, if they don't feel like they could die, right? So that's the situation. So I looked into this as I did over the last 12 years, 13 years since I have my company. And I developed this product here, which I have around my neck. It's called Smart Defender ST1 Human Protect. I can give no guarantee. I cannot give a medical claim. But the BISA Institute in Austria, in his testimonial, say that this product does handle that problem. You can find it on my website under improveyourlife.us, ST1 Human Protect. If you buy it, put in Serge's initials, and you get a free shipment to honor your listeners.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Well, if they took the time to listen to you and me, they deserve, besides the information, perhaps they deserve a kind of gimmick, right? Some extra. Yeah. And then, okay, that's what I like to offer to you. Now, Serge, so if you put in the code SG for Serge Gregoire, then you get a free shipment, okay?
Awesome.
And of course, you can send me at any time emails and ask me questions you may have and clarification and so on and so forth.
Awesome. Mr.
No,
Norbert, thank you so much for your time. That was a really good talk. You're gonna have to come back. There's so much information you need to share.
now, do you have any question? I was not a big monologue. I tried to be fast. I spoke fast to stay in a time frame.
No question on my side. And if you guys have any question, reach out to him. Is really, really good at explaining and giving information. His whole passion is to educate people like myself. So don't hesitate to talk to him.
And I have various themes to offer. One theme is for why tattoos are bad ideas and harm your body. Now
Hmm.
it's a pandemic. Tattoos are the
Yes,
real pandemic. When I see how many
yes.
people have got tattoos and they don't know what they're doing to their body.
That's a good point. You're gonna have to talk about that next time as well. There's a few things we need to talk about.
Well, water, but water, I have a problem to really explain water. Frankly, I need 2-3 hours. Okay, we cannot do it in 30, 40 minutes. Um, but maybe I'll find a way to reduce. Okay, I will reduce it to match to your 40 minutes.
Maybe an hour. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. We keep in touch, my friend.
Thank you very much for everybody. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for listening to my monologue.
Thank you.
All the best
I
and
appreciate your information.
bye
Have a
bye.
good rest of the day.